Heathers, which was suggested by Tutbot, our patron of the week, Tutbot. So, boys, Heathers. What is there to say about Heathers? Well, Heathers is a cult classic film. It follows Veronica, I believe is her name. Veronica, she's one of the cool kids now here at this big old high school. This big old clique, they're made up of a bunch of other girls named Heather as well, which is kind of weird, That's a little strange.
Well, not as well, because her name is Veronica.
Well, they later want to conduct a big ritual to get her to be named Heather instead. They're gonna, inhibit her with, the spirit of Heather or some shit. It's pretty strange, but we don't delve too far into that, luckily. So, the top Heather, she's not very attractive, but she's the top Heather anyway. And she's kind of a bitch to Veronica constantly, okay? They go to a party, it's not Veronica doesn't have a good time, she almost gets raped or whatever. And her friend Heather, she's just being a whole big bitch about it. So, Veronica ends up meeting this new kid, okay? He's a handsome rogue type, and he wants to help her out with this little Heather issue, So they're initially just gonna, go over there. They're gonna greet Heather, give her a little something to drink up, maybe make her sick, throw up. But instead, this boy poisons her, and she dies. So they need to figure something out here. Now, Veronica apparently has a special technique to just, replicate anyone's handwriting, which she's able to use to fake a suicide note. And that just makes this Heather girl even more popular in her death, because everyone's like, whoa, suicide, that's groovy. And from here, they decide, you know what? There are a lot of people at the school who we just don't really like, so they just kill a few more people at the school. And this roguish boy type, he really gets a thirst for it, to the point where it's like, hey, I just want to kill everyone at this school now. And that's what he tries to do. And at this point, Veronica, she's not having it. After all, she goes to the school. She doesn't want to die. So she puts a stop to all this as they're down in the boiler room. He's planting bombs and shit, ready to blow her up. But she just shoots his middle finger off. And then she blasts him in the chest. And she's able to disable that bomb right there. They walk Solon out of the school. And then he blows himself up right in front of her. And there, we see the ending of the film. As she walks back into the school, all fried from just being a bombing. And she sees the fat girl who tried to commit suicide earlier, and she's like, hey, let's go watch some movies.
Just go bang, baby.
I'm the new head Heather now. And then it ends. This film is very entertaining, I gotta say. It is a dark comedy, a very dark comedy at that. There's murder, there's rape, there's a whole lot of other wacky stuff. There's homosexuality even.
Not really, but yeah, no, this movie is cool as fuck. Obviously, when it opens up, us modern humans are watching it and we're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like an 80s Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And then they kill that girl. And literally, when I was watching that scene, I was still like, okay, it'll be just like a little scare and it'll be like a little comedic drama thing. She goes to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. But I'm also thinking in my head, oh, please stay dead. That would make this movie so fucking interesting. That would be such a cool plot ripple. And then she's still dead. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be a really cool movie that I actually want to watch.
Yeah, I think one of the first hints at oh, this movie's going to be a bit different is when they're in the cafeteria, just they're doing their normal high school stuff. Some of the jocks, they decide to pick on the new guy, the roguish boy who I talked about earlier, because he was talking to that absolute hottie Veronica, and he just fucking pulls a gun on them and shoots them. To our knowledge, that's what they initially lead you to believe. But 30 seconds later, they revealed oh, it was just blanks, But for a second there, you definitely think he just fucking blew their brains out.
Yeah, that was crazy. Real quick, obviously, main character played by one Winona Ryder. I assume most of us are familiar with her nowadays from Stranger Things. So it's cool seeing an 18-year-old Winona Ryder. Nico.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about her?
I know you're trying to set a trap right now for me, Tanner.
I'm not. Listen.
She was actually 16 at the time of recording.
Yeah, she was 16 when this movie was actually being recorded.
Okay, well, never mind.
She was fucking hot though in this movie, guys. Hoo-wee.
Anyway,
I pulled the trap on you, Tanner. Take that, Buster. I'm still in.
I like obviously this is a comedy, so it's mostly trying to be goofy. I do like the commentary that people kind of automatically assume there's like this hidden depth to people if they do kill themselves.
Yeah.
Like they assign all this weight to that act when it like it very well can just be like, nah, this
shit sucks.
person, this person was as uncomplicated as you knew them as.
Yep.
Oh, dude, the teacher reading the suicide note in English
That was
class
fucking
is
crazy.
What? What the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Jess got a big old fucking pog face when she pulled it out and was like, alright, so here's the suicide note. We're just gonna pass this around.
Actually insane.
Dude, yeah, it's
Damn.
pretty nutty. I'm glad we finally get to see an 80s movie where we have all of the bad 80s fashion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The outfits throughout this entire thing were ridiculous or atrocious. Holy shit.
Ridiculously hot. Like that little piece she was wearing when she went to get a slushie at the convenience store.
Sure, that was a good one. Any hat they put her in looked fucking stupid,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
I don't know where they were getting these things. They were the weirdest looking hats I've ever seen in my fucking
One of them
life.
looked like one of them fucking like African tribal hats that they wear or whatever.
Yeah, at the funeral. What,
Yeah.
I literally I watched this with Mom. I'm like, what is that hat she's wearing? Weird stuff.
It was a style for
with,
time.
Yeah, the bit with the high cops, that was funny.
Oh,
yeah, dude. The cops
like-
are amazing.
Dude, did you? I heard that one or whatever the fuck. That was pretty good.
I heard that one.
Oh man, all that stuff with those fucking bullies. So like earlier in the film, she has to go on a double date with one of the other Heathers because like these bullies they just want to get a little action after some cow tipping, and so like while one of them's attempting to plow the other Heather, like seemingly not entirely consensual. She doesn't seem super into it. The other bully is trying to get with Veronica. And he's just stumbling about because he's a drunken mess. And, she immediately just, like, walks away and starts talking to her man. But, like, the entire time she's talking to him, in the background, we just see this guy fucking just rolling around. Just... he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just off in the background doing God knows what. I found it very hilarious. And I think that's one of the biggest points in favor of this film. We've seen a lot of comedies so far. And I don't think any of them, aside from, like, Undercover Brother, were particularly that funny. But, like, this film was actually hilarious.
Yeah.
I agree.
This one was pretty funny, yeah.
I thought the football player's funeral was hilarious. I remember me and Tyler were watching it just from that opening shot where they're in their helmets.
Yeah. They just had, like, little foam footballs in their hands. I love my gay son.
I love my...
Did he literally say something like, son, you may have been a faggot or something like that?
Yeah.
I think he did,
Yeah.
but that was awesome. Christian Slater, our main guy, what is his, like, Nick?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. This guy is insane.
Oh, wait, he's
What
a psycho.
maniac. Jesus Christ. Also, like, Christian Slater, he's got a weird way of speaking. I don't know... Something about the way he speaks, it's off-putting. It makes him seem a bit strange.
So apparently, I looked into this. He was trying to imitate Jack Nicholson from The Shining during this film.
What?
Yeah. Because he's a psycho.
Of course. Yeah.
Because he's
Why
a
wouldn't he?
Shining.
I find the ending of the movie very odd.
Yeah.
I don't think it wraps up very well.
So apparently, Tanner, there were several different proposed endings. One of them being that they actually did blow up the school and everyone died, and then they had prom in heaven, and you got to see all the cliques getting together and like being happy, like he said they would be.
That would be... I think that's a bad message then, Mo.
It is a
That's
very
what I put
bad
in there.
message.
I think aside from the heaven part, blowing up the school is probably the right ending.
Yeah.
What they end up doing is just weird. How like, because he could have blown it up, but he didn't. He decided he had to change it. What? Huh?
He just stabbed it for some reason.
And now she's cool all of a sudden. And also, like, that's my main thing. Like, she still killed someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
fucking
In
yeah,
fact,
shot the dude.
she killed 2 people, I guess. I mean,
Sort
unless
of.
you don't count his suicide bombing as hers.
I really only directly
I'd
count
put
her
it in her
shooting
house.
the one football player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why wouldn't she just shoot the guy who's clearly a psychopath that she doesn't like anymore at that point?
I think she was still in shock at that point because, she wanted to believe that these were super fancy, sophisticated bullets that wouldn't actually kill them or whatever he said they were.
She thought they were those fucking bullets that they say that Red Hood uses in the Batman comics.
Yeah.
Also, she can change him.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, for real. She can change his diaper, maybe.
I like the father-son interactions where they're just like constantly in the reverse of each other whenever.
Oh
they're
yeah,
on
those are
scene.
silly.
Yeah,
Also, the father's just a
quirky.
total fucking psychopath.
Yeah, it's the implication that his father did just murder the mom, and they're kind of both aware of it.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
So yeah,
and he blows up
Heathers,
buildings.
guys. Heathers. There's definitely something deeper about this film that I'm definitely not quite catching, particularly with like the colors that they use. Every
Society.
character has a specific color, Like Veronica, our main girl, she's blue. The head Heather is
cops.
red. The other Heathers have other
The
colors.
Bloods.
I don't know what exactly the meaning behind that is, but there's something to it.
It might just be,
Colors.
here's a bunch of white women, we need an easy way of telling them apart.
You can easily tell them apart. One of them's super ugly. One of them is apparently like 26 years old. Another one is decently cute. And then you have the main one, which is hot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you just like white women.
He does.
He is a white woman enjoyer.
I said one of them's ugly.
You still think
Yeah.
she's like a 6 out of 10.
But that's just a fat white woman. That doesn't
She
count.
wasn't even fat.
Oh, you're talking a different one? Never mind that.
Yeah, I'm talking
I didn't
about
watch
the-
that
one of
To
the
be
Heathers.
honest, I
Yeah,
did
I'm
not
talking about
watch
the
the
main
first
Heather.
like 30 minutes.
Oh,
How
yeah, I
long?
guess he
I
never-
didn't see
he
the
ne-
first
he-
part of it.
He came in after the
Unfortunately.
murder. The
Oh.
first Heather murder.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
I
original
guess,
Heather
are
wasn't
we
very
ready to
attractive.
rank?
Yeah, I'd say so. Jackson, what would you give this film, would you say?
Me, A.
Yeah. Did you say a B?
No, I said A.
Oh, A, okay.
I said,
You said a B?
What the fuck?
Kyler, what about you?
I think I'd give it a B plus.
B plus. Golly. Tanner.
I feel like you guys might have talked me into a higher ranking than I had. What do we have negatives on this?
It wasn't that bad of a movie. It just kind of it doesn't really do anything, but it's a
I thought,
pretty
I
good
thought the
movie.
intro was pretty fucking boring when they were first doing like the quiz and shit. I don't know. That's,
Well, I
that's the like
skipped that
weird
part.
slower parts I didn't really. Yeah, you did. Yeah, the random parts where they're doing like fucking croquet and shit. There's a lot of like just like random scenes. I don't know. It was
I
just
think I'll
boring
ju-
to me
I'll-
at certain parts. Some of the nothing really hit like super hard.
I'm gonna stick with what I had and say an A.
An A. Solid. Dylan also gave it an A, and I am going to give it an A plus.
Wow.
Wow. There we go. We're back to being consistent with each other.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, that puts the movie at an A.
Whoa.